How's everybody doing out there today? Steve's back. And what we're going to talk about today is getting in your first band. And also, we're going to just get some review going on because we want to make sure if you've just been tuning in the past couple of weeks that you're not behind too much as far as where we started, in the very beginning. But let's start for the people that, are just thinking, whatever, you're 13, 14, 15, you want to be in a band and you got to know where to start, okay? And of course, are you going to play electric guitar? Are you going to play acoustic guitar? That's a big decision. And hopefully that you've learned enough for other lessons or other means online, or you have a high school friend that's teaching you, or any age you can get in a band. I mean, it doesn't have to be, someone that's a student. That's in actual lessons. So I wasn't taking any lessons at all. When I was 11 and 12, I was learning on an acoustic guitar. And then I got my first, I had a Gibson SG Special when I was 13, and I had an OK amp. It was a Guild amp. And I got that in March, and when I was 13, and by that summer, I was in a band with three other, well, it was three of us. It was just a trio, and we had a bass, we had a drum. I think we were having vocals. I don't know who was singing, but I think we went through some kind of tape recorder or something, just so we could have a little bit of singing. When you're starting out, you don't have all the equipment, that you want, and so you got to make do. So I think even the bass player, he might not even had an amp. He might have been playing out of some kind of a crazy stereo hookup or that kind of thing. But you want to play what you like. And so for me, back then, we were into Led Zeppelin. So just like, we learn open chords early on, that's what I learned when I was 11, 12, 13, 14. So one of the, songs that we would play would be a Led Zeppelin song called Communication Breakdown, because basically it was just the major chords of E, A, and D, and then you went to the bar chords of A seventh and B seventh, all chords that we've already, reviewed in prior lessons. And it was just something like, so that was like easy, and you're just banging around with your friends and somebody trying to sing. I think I even sang on that for a little bit, but it's just you can pick up some of the easiest songs that are out there, that we think that they're so complicated because there's the rock and roll gods that we love are playing them, but sometimes they're very, simplistic. I think, one of the first ones we were doing might have been, Jimi Hendrix. Mostly E major, bar chord of G major, bar chord of A major, and some single string stuff, in the beginning. We were big Hendrix fans, so then we would go to Hey Joe. I don't really recall the beginning, but Hey Joe was just C, G, D, all major to E major. It's just a little bit of a... So we were into, Cream. So, you like Leonard Skinner at A? Well, I haven't played those in a while. How about little bit of Skinner for you. Oh, Castles Made of Sand. What's the one that I know that I used to play a lot that I love from that album? Cool. Yeah. Hendrix. How about Well, how about that? You got me playing all kinds of Hendrix, which is cool. I don't do rap songs. Sorry about that. Freebird solo. Ay, 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 ay. Freebird solo. I really don't remember. I never played it, but it is a cool solo. Sorry about that. Hey. All right, I think I was playing it in the wrong key. But anyway, being in a band, you know, get in a band. Don't wait. You don't need to know everything. Okay, you think we sounded that great when we were 13, 14? I don't think so. But when I was 15, I was writing songs and we were playing at some of the high schools or junior highs, and people were calling out my songs to play. I mean, it was so cool. I mean, this was like a solo I was doing when I was 15 to a song I wrote called Rockstar. Oh man, whew. I think I did that better when I was 15, but kind of close. And actually, I have a couple of versions on my channel that you can look up. There's a song called Rockstar, and there's a song called Time Goes By. And I played both of them when I was maybe 15 or 16, and they got some pretty cool solos that I did, you know, and that was just from me learning the pentatonic scale. Like so many guitarists just rely on the pentatonic scale. That last solo, that all as I was doing. Okay, and when you get into the major pentatonic, you know, like scales that maybe you'll hear from like Ramblin' Man, like the Allman Brothers. It's basically pentatonic, but with that major, you know, major sound. So, getting in a band, get the right equipment, just pick out the songs you want to work on. Don't worry about perfection. It's just getting out there, getting your group together, and just having fun. I mean, we all love music. You know, we listen to music. Some of us will play music. We've got friends that play music, go hear concerts, and it's just music. You know, I've been doing this. I'm 68. I've been doing this since I was 13. I'm still in bands, and I still enjoy it. I'm here in Baltimore, Maryland, and I've played in Washington, D.C., and I've played all over Maryland. I haven't left the state as far as being a guitar god or hero that's traveling around playing at festivals, but it's still such a wonderful gift that you have if you're playing an instrument and you get in with other people. Not only are you making music and maybe you're writing your own songs, but the fun of just being around other people, it's just a great night out. Even if you don't have any gigs lined up, just working on your set list and just improving all the time. I might know half of what there is to know in here. There is so much. It's just unbelievable the amount of music that can come out of a guitar in the different styles, whether it's bluegrass or country or jazz. It's just endless. It's just endless. So I did want to get back into a little recap, where we started, because I'm hoping that some of you are going to stick with my channel and, keep coming back, and we'll keep advancing. But we did start with, like open bar chords down in the first position. If you haven't, seen that lesson, we just basically go through A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. And then we get right into converting them to the dominant seventh chord in the open position, and then the minor. And it's all in my videos that, are on YouTube now for anybody to watch at any time. After we did that, we just got into the basic pentatonic scale in minor in the key of A. And then on the second fret, the major pentatonic in A. And just do different permutations of that. You don't want to just play that same riff. Any melody can come out of these positions that you can hum, and then you could pick it up if you want to, just from, by finding the right note from what you're singing, okay? After we did a little bit of learning single string and pentatonic, we got right into bar chords, and we got into how this E shape down here at its open position, how when you bar one fret up, you got F. And then you take that a whole step, another whole step, you go to G to A, and we went all the way up the neck to D and then back to E again from that open E position. Then we talked about the A position and how if we put a bar right on the first fret and use that A position, a major, with using this finger on those three notes, we were at B flat. If we moved up a whole step, which is 2 frets, we're at C. Same as the C in the open position. We moved it up to the 5th fret, we're at D, okay? And then we move it up to the 7th fret, we're at E. After we did those positions from the open major, then we went into how you can convert each of those positions to minor and dominant sevenths. We talked about A. If you're here off of the E open position on the 5th fret, all you do is lift up your middle finger, not trying to give you the finger, but you lift up the finger and all of a sudden A major goes to minor. And when you want to go to dominant seventh, you from the E position, you lift up your little finger, okay? You can lift up, there's 2 ways here. You can lift up the little finger, A7. Here's A major, here's A7. But you have another choice too, because you got another note here, which is the G, which is the sound that you heard the 7th when you lifted up your finger, because you no longer were playing A, you lift up your finger, and then all of a sudden the bar had the G. But if you want to put down another G, it's just 2/7 of that scale. Hear that? And that's the 7th. We did the same thing with the A open position. I'm just going to move it up here to the 5th position, which is the D. And we showed you that if we just moved this here, F sharp, which is in that D, down to F, then you have D minor. And you can do that up and down the neck. If you're here in C, here's your C minor. Remember, with this position, you don't want to hit this E note. that's going to mess up your chord, okay? Because you're playing A down in the open position, you're playing the A with not hitting the top E string. You're hitting the A string first. That's the root of that chord. So when you use that position, you're always really muting the E string or just not playing it. You're playing the 5 strings. To get to the 7th from this open A position that we've moved up to the 5th fret to be the D, we need to get rid of this D and we need to have in there a C. So one way to do that is just finger it like this. Hear the difference? D major, D7th, okay? Because we're getting that C in there, which is the 7th, okay, that we want to hear. And we're really basically moving C sharp down to C, okay? So there's 2 ways to play it. You can play it like we just showed you, or you can keep that down, the A moved up to the D, and you can use your little finger on the C here on the E string. So that's what we did. We went through all of those chords, bar chords, okay? Today we had a bending lesson, okay? If you're going to play rock and you're going to play blues, you've got to learn how to bend the strings. You know, like, let's say like in Jimmy Page's solo at the end of Stairway to Heaven. He starts out with a big bend, right? And then he does bend. Another bend. Another bend. Another bend. Another bend. More bending. Another bend. 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 Okay, so you got to bend. You got to bend. You got to learn that. So that's a whole new lesson I put out today. It's a little over 9 minutes. So we just going to keep building, okay? We've got stuff for you for advanced guitarists. We're going to get into double stops. We're going to get into octaves. We're going to get into like 2-note bending, meaning like, you know, the end of Stairway to Heaven. And he goes. I haven't played that in a while, so it's a little off, but you kind of get the point. Plus, we're going to get into like, you know, chord soloing, like Stairway to Heaven. If you hear the beginning, so that's playing it, but you don't hear the melody. That's the rhythm, that's the harmony. But you can work in different ways the actual melody with the chords, meaning like, see, that's very different than I'm your guitar hero, but I'm not playing rap. I don't know Tupac. But thank you anyway. We're just going to keep expanding. There's some jazz things we can get into. Just jazz chords are very much different than what we play in rock. And, after I was playing for like, I don't know how many years, 5, 6, 7 years, I wanted to get better. So I did take some lessons, and I learned how to read, not tablature, but actual reading standard notation. Now, it helped from my schooling as a clarinetist in elementary school and junior high. I knew how, music is laid out, standard notation, and everything about, the notes and how long you play them and rests and that sort of thing. So that was helpful. But you still have to learn how the notes are, all around the fretboard. So that's a whole nother thing that we can get into a little bit down the road. And, like I said, jazz is like, very different, it's just different notes and the Dorian mode and just a minor sixth in there. So many more notes than in the pentatonic scale. It's just a wonderful thing to be able to come online here and tutor some of you that might want, a different way of learning. Every guitarist is going to have their own kind of style on how to teach, because I've been playing and learning from different people and learning from listening to different, hot guitarists. I may have my own way of, wanting to teach you. A lot of guitarists are going to start, with the C major scale, because it has no sharps or flats. It just has none of these incidental notes, accidental, whatever they call it. But I decided, because it's so comfortable for most guitarists to play in the fifth position, I decided to start with A. Now that has 3 sharps in it. You've got A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. So it's much more challenging, but you can't be afraid of playing outside of the key of C. You're going to be playing with other people. Sometimes you might have to play in B flat. You might have to play in G. You might have to play in E. It's not always going to be C. So I feel like it's better, especially starting in A and then starting with a 1-4-5 progression is another main thing that we started with, because there's thousands of songs that go with. So I hope you enjoyed our live session today. I'm going to keep coming back. I'm glad that some of you wanted to hear a few songs. I'm not, completely like into doing this. I haven't done it that much. So if I left off playing something for you or I didn't read your message, I'll try and answer it at a later time. But, I just really am so happy. Whoever tuned in, it's, you don't always get somebody, especially when you don't advertise. So I'm glad you made it. I'm glad you tuned in. But we're going to sign off now, but we're going to see you sometime soon. Keep on rocking. You can be a rock star and a guitar god, and I can help you get there. Let's do this together. Bye.